My favourite Kurosawa film of the 1950s is this, Throne of Blood, Kurosawa's Macbeth. I would claim this to be my favourite of the cinematic Macbeths, of even Wells or Polanski's adaptations, one of the very finest of Shakespeare films overall, possibly my favourite Mifune performance, and just among the greatest films of all time of any type or category. I've mentioned this before on the channel. I'm not as impressed by Macbeth as I am several other of Shakespeare's plays, at least as a script. I can only imagine it popping live, quite literally where some simulated red is concerned, but something about Power Corrupts didn't strike even much younger AOD as a revelation, particularly when it was engineered by supernatural beings, almost implying Macbeth might have been a nicer chap otherwise. I strongly recall when I first was described the plot of Hamlet, I was really taken by its arranged complexity and emotional ferocity. I have to say that Macbeth didn't strike me as existentially confronting by comparison, though it was easy to admire its coy foreshadowing of Macduff's revealing his mother's C-section delivery. I love all the witches' dialogue. A lot of Macbeth's strikes me as trite and over-expository. Stars hide my thoughts. Really? Dagger of the mind. Yeah, I guess a hallucination is like a puncture. Not unimpressive, I guess. Knife is going to be used in the plot. Hey, I can connect the dagger hallucination originating in the mind to a cutting of rational thoughts. I'm so clever. Bloodthirsty Scots. Lizzie'll love it. She will. I just consider the synopsis a little bit simple. The supposed revelations are not really news to me. Maybe it was more so at one time. It feels a bit A to B compared with, of course, Hamlet, King Lear, Antony and Cleopatra, Tempest, Richard III, or Othello. It feels very puerile to be considering the merits of Shakespeare's plays as though I would Doctor Who serials, but at the end of the day, these were meant to be populist entertainment, and they are entertaining. I even felt that way as an adolescent. They were violent, full of history, full of ruthless existentialism, active and vigorous language, visceral film adaptations from across many decades, and they were so unpretentiously open about the sexual gravity of human interactions, compared with the kind of novels that otherwise prescribe to us, careful enough to garner awards, but not candid enough about human nature to be legally prescribed to high school students. I have to also admit, I remember reading that Cale was not fond of Polanski's Macbeth feature. She considered it reduced the thematic depth, as she perceived it, of Shakespeare's play to Life is a Jungle. But isn't that the core of the text, when one removes the fanciful, cosmologometic, Elizabethan era spiritual curtains, identifiable as the witches, in the narrative itself? Macbeth might best be appreciated as the most proto-Poe of Shakespeare's pieces, admirable for its wanton and convicted existentialism in the wake of unsympathetic, rip-current, and Judeo-Christian informed inspired fate, superior via a narrator's prose when the dialogue of a performance's players, and very potently adaptable into the cinema medium. Poe films are so delectable and filmic, even on a moderate by American standards production budget, as Corman eagerly had proved, and Macbeth was responsible for motivating some of my favourite Shakespeare films, or films at large. Between Wells, Kurosawa, and Polanski, Macbeth certainly felt like a work of genius. But that word, felt. Macbeth is best appreciated in my brain when it is felt, not when it is an attempt at some cerebral stimulation, but as visceral emotive entertainment. Macbeth can be pretty enjoyable fare, so if you need to attempt to engage a bunch of unimpressed high school boys, your safest bet is to give them some exposure to Macbeth. Likely they'd find that the least boring of the bunch. And for a Kurosawa film, for a subtitled film from the 1950s, black and white, maybe you could screen them Throne of Blood after experiencing Macbeth and have them potentially think, hey, this is pretty damn cool. You'll at least get the weebs to move on from vacuous 21st century anime and into the enriching tradition of Japanese 20th century auteurs, whatever it takes to get them to stop watching gruel like Lucky Star. That's being a bit unfair. Most of them are above that at least, I hope. But move over Bleach, move over Death Note, move over Code Geass. Go for Legend of the Galactic Heroes, UC Gundam, or Galaxy Express 999 instead, but that's that medium, we'll try one at a time. Learn about the likes of Kurosawa, Kobayashi, Kinoshita, and other guys whose family names don't begin with the letter K. Next time, the film which may have been the most influential on the ultimate tone of Lucas's Star Wars. Or that wasn't Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers' adventures.